Well, welcome viewers. I'm Kamal Haynes of 284 Media. Well, today we have a special featured interview with some of the BVI's most talented young women in theater arts and visual performance. Well, there are Miss Charis Marie-Hoyte and Miss Donovan-Hodge, who are here to speak about their highly anticipated play entitled Resilience or Legacy Unchained. But before we get to that interview, viewers, let's take a quick commercial break.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out that trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I huff. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, as mentioned previously, we have with us Miss Charis Marie-Hoyte and Miss Donovan-Hodge, who are both here to speak about their highly anticipated play, which is slated for this weekend, that is Saturday and Sunday, Resilience or Legacy Unchained. Miss Marie-Hoyte is the writer of the play, which is an original piece, and Miss Donovan-Hodge is the director and also producer of the play. So just to give you the viewers a brief background of the play, it is a narrative metaphor for the essence of Virgin Islands culture resilience. It reimagines Nottingham Estate, Tortola, circa the 1770s, and highlights the conditions of that period, as well as its ramifications on the Afro-Caribbean familial unit. But the play initially was premiered in an intimate ceremony on Necker Island in June 2021 with an audience which consisted of billionaire Sir Richard Branson, Premier of the Virgin Islands, Honorable Andrew Foy, a renowned film producer, and several others. Well, welcome Miss Marie-Hoyte and Miss Donovan-Hodge.
Thank you for having us.
Well, I want to thank you guys for both joining us to just give us an insight of what the play is all about. So let's first start, either of you can just let the viewers know what this play is about, how it would have came into light, and some of the intricate behind the scenes that would have gone into this play in preparing it for this weekend.
I'm gonna let you do what the play is about.
What the play is about. Okay, so narratively, the play, as you mentioned, is set in 1770s, like a reimagined modern version of the Nottingham Estate. It looks at this character resilience and really her struggle to understand her place in that society at that time. She often finds herself in compromising to positions that put her and her loved ones in danger, and one day those consequences come about from her actions. As it pertains to like the socio-emotional or the socio-historical definition of what this play is, it's about redefining what it means to be a Virgin Islander, and on the greater scale, a member of the Black diaspora, what our legacy entails as people, and all of that, what it comes to be, what it pertains to that. So I'm gonna stop there.
Okay, so as far as how this play came about, we have a third producer who could not be with us today, Rikia Brathwaite. So she's also in the industry of theater. She's an actress, and she had an idea. She wanted to do a play. She knew what she wanted to be about, and she approached me about it, knowing that I could direct it. So we needed a script. I called up my beautiful friend Charis here, and I was just like, "Hey, can you write a play?" And she was just like, "I'm not sure, but I'll try." So she started writing. We have, a couple versions of this play that have existed throughout the last year, up until this final project that we have right now. As far as what has gone into creating this, it has been a lot. We held auditions last year in March.
Yeah.
Then we held auditions again this year in
September
or late August. We have been rehearsing for a very long time now with our cast of about 7 to 8 people. We have, created sets. I've been painting a lot of our sets. finding other people in the community who have a passion for theater as well and wanted a place to experience and be a part of that outlet and create something that would be impactful for our community and help us to refamiliarize and reintroduce the community to theater. Because really what we wanted to do with this production is say, hey, we have this art form that's really important and that we don't see enough in the BVI, and also how can we integrate that to making sure that culture is an important part of the art form, and how culture can be explored through the arts, and how our generation, the generation before us, and the generation that is to come can all be a part of this and hopefully set a standard so that we can have more theater in our community as we evolve. So we have a lot of things that we wanted to do with this play that are different from just skits that we see around the place. We have on our poster a starting time, 6:21, and our show starting time at 7:21. And the reason that we did that is because we wanted to create a very strict theater environment that kind of, mimics what you see when you go to Broadway. So if you go to a Broadway play in New York, if you get there after the play has started, you will not be able to enter the doors. The only other opportunity you have to enter is at intermission, because you're not supposed to disturb the environment of the theater, and we wanted to stick and stay true to that. So when you're coming, this is not running on BVI time, guys. Have in your brain it starts at 6 o'clock, so please come early. We are trying to, create an environment that is very important to us and important to our production. So, yes.
Great. And you did mention a lot there just now. As you said, it was an idea that you would have come up with, and you reached out to Miss Marie, basically to get her to write the play. And as you said, Miss Brathwaite is also involved. I'm sure that takes some synergy between the three of you guys to be able to come together collectively and actually get a play off. Because you did mention, I did mention it in the background where it was said that the play was initially performed on Necker Island in June 2021. So I just want to get an idea as it pertains to the date when you guys would have first come up with the idea, and how long it would have taken for you guys to actually come up with a production piece that could have been performed on Necker Island. And then fast forward to now, you have it on a much grander scale, which the majority of the territory will be privileged to be able to view what you guys have in store for this weekend. So let's start there.
So I was approached for the project about, I would say, maybe late February 2021. And we had a prospective date of the June 21st to do the performance. So when I came in February, I was told, we have this theme, Virgin Islands Resilience, but to get it from that theme to the play, to auditions, it took some time. As it pertains to the writing process, the cast can testify to this. They probably got maybe 2 scenes for 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks later they got other 2 scenes, and then a week after that, just so that we could be continuous with our endeavor. But
we only had like a month and a half of rehearsal time.
Yeah, we had a month and a half of rehearsal by the time the full thing at that time was finished. And when we got to the Necker performance, we wanted to bring it to the BBI because, again, we saw the potential that it had, but we also, at that time, the first draft was only 45 minutes. Yeah. 45 minutes. I was like, we have to make it bigger. So
also, it was a story for the BVI people, and
yeah,
the audience wasn't full of a lot of locals at the time, so it was like, this is something that is for us, by us, that needs to be seen by our people. So
yeah, hence there was another stage of writing that took another, let's say maybe another month, because again within that time we had COVID spikes and delays like that. So it's really a matter of looking at the different scales on the ladder there, but everything kind of happened at one time all at once. It was very slow at first, and then it was weeks and weeks, just everything being dished out at one time.
My next question was this the first time that you guys would have collaborated to do something of this nature?
Yes.
Yes, most definitely. So Ricky and Via do have a background together. They were familiar with each other. And Via and I attended HLSCC together, so we did have some
like mini theater in literature classes together.
So minimal, so I guess it's really the connect. So Rikia linked with Via to get that vision started, and then Via brought me in afterward. And then since there we understood where the goal was, what the goal was, and how we're going to get it there. We've just been working together to get it done. So it's just a matter of us being united by a shared passion for the platform, a shared passion for the project itself, and making sure we do what we have to do to get it done.
Yeah, and the reason I asked that question because it's very impressive in terms of being able to pull off such initially within a 3 to 4 month period, because as you said, when you guys met in January regarding the idea February, it was a situation where you guys had till June 21st to basically get everything in sync and ready for then, and you were able to basically pull it off to be able to even see the potential amounts of foreign crowd, which is obviously commendable. So speak about some of the challenges you guys would have had when it came to the final pieces, especially for this second leg of the production, as I would obviously label the first leg being that performance on June 21st on Necker Island. So speak about the challenges you guys would have had and experience that I'm sure you obviously would have been able to get over ahead of this weekend.
Okay, so we've had a lot of challenges, as I think any project would have. I think one of the ones that like prevails the most for us is being a little bit too close to the project, because Charis wrote the play, but she's also one of our main characters. And Rikia, conceptualized this project in the beginning and is our main character. And we've been very much in the play since that time in February, March 2021. So when we had gotten to our performance for June at Necker Island, it was like, okay, we're very excited and we're very ready for this to happen. And we got it off its feet. It was, kind of like a minimalist set, a minimalist production, but it was beautiful. It was great. And then we took a little break over the summer and we came back, and I think coming back into the work, it kind of felt like we're looking at this paper and I've seen all of this before. And we kind of got stuck in this place where it was just like, this feels dry and we want to do something else. But then, in the headspace, I think that Charis gets in a lot, where she like always is looking at her writing and it's just like, I want to make this better. I can make this better. Then it was like, trying to balance what we can add and how we can improve upon it, but not going too overboard to where now we're putting the quality of the production at risk because we're doing too much or trying to fix things that weren't broken inherently. Getting our cast, excited about the production again, and, making sure that we all just had the same vigor and life and energy that we entered into the project with, because we had been, in the same room with the same 8 people for months and months and months looking at the same lines. And how do we make that not begin to seem monotonous and make it seem like, we're coming in and I'm saying these lines and it feels like the same thing every day. And how does that not transfer? How do we get that not to transfer to the audience when they're watching it? Because they're watching it for the first time. And we had to come to realizations that, yes, we see this every day or almost every day. And yes, we feel like, it becomes repetitive. But for people who are not seeing this for the 100th time, this is something brand new to them. And we have to be able to step outside of ourselves and look at it from their eyes from the outside.
If I were to give a bit more, tangible difficulties, I think the whole world experienced COVID. I think this project has been delayed about twice.
Yeah.
And January 8th and 9th were our initial dates for this performance. And then over the summer, there was a delay there as well. And I think scheduling has been a really big thing, because again, doing theater in the BVI full-time is not really a common thing. So we have 9-to-5s, we have members of cast who are first responders. So making sure to have everyone there to even rehearse or be available, it's been a scheduling thing, but we've all been dedicating the time, and of course financing. Again, we're very young people. Projects like these require a lot of human capital and financial capital that within our own right we probably would not have. But it took some time and going into our community and people seeing the vision and wanting to drop into that. And I think those probably would be significant challenges we face as well.
Great. And you touched on the critical aspect of it lastly, in terms of the financial aspect to be able to fund the project. And you also touched on another critical aspect of the project in terms of the talent here in the BVI. So before I get to my next question, what I wanted to do basically is to have you briefly speak on some of the characters that are in this play, Resilience or Legacy Unchained. Speak about some of the characters, both in terms of the name of the characters that will be playing in the play, as well as their actual name, just to shed a light on some of the talent we have here in the BVI.
Okay, so first, there's no particular order, you know. If we start with like our first responders, for example, we have Tashima Barzi. She is a first responder. She's a supervisor in the, I want to say it's the emergency team. And she plays a character called Gertrude. Let's just call her Gertrude for now, Trudy. And she plays, you know, I guess she represents that your favorite auntie kind of character. So a character that you relate with in the sense of like she is your defense or your little guide into the big world. We have Kerry Otley, who is a police officer. He plays, without giving things away, his character is called Adam. And he is a strong voice within the production. He brings a sense of reason that we as the audience have to decide, is it just, is it right, are his motives? We have Hashim Lewis, or Hashim the Dream. He is a teacher, but he's also like a musician, you know, soca artist. And he comes in and brings this intensity that every production needs to really have, what sense of, you know, just a sense of intensity,
some risk.
A sense of intensity that he brings in. Again, we have Shamar Trim. He's in the field of medicine right now. He owns a dance company, and he's also one of the leading actors in this production. And his performance is just very heartfelt and full of hope and a depth that, though I wrote the character, I did not expect to see in certain scenes. It's like every time we see it as a cast, we're like, wow. We have Nikoi Stout, who is he's like a student. He's an environmentalist. And he brings, again, he came in the second round of the production, because again, we extended the production. He's an additional character, and he came in with a diligence, like he made all of us borderline feel inadequate those first 2 weeks when he came in, because he knew his life, his blocking, and everything was done. And of course, you have Rikia Brathwaite. She has dedicated, like I would say, a good amount of her life to this, you know, studied acting, University of Miami, and again, without her really feeling that void, that as a thespian, like there's no space for us, and wanted to create something, she gets that. So she just puts everything into it. She's just an innocence that comes with it that makes her character even much more, I guess, engaging. So the innocence of it, her ability to bring forth a childlike innocence to this character. And I think finally the last person is me, Charis Marie. I do PR, public relations, communications in my 9-to-5, and I wrote the piece, and then I'm acting this character who is very much not like me, but I think Via will be able to.
She's found herself in the character. I will say that. She has found herself in this character, bits of herself.
Yeah, but that's who we have with us. And we have some other little niche, little cameos in the production as well. But that's really who we're working with, a good group of thespians.
Mm-hmm. And you just mentioned these characters just now. I'm sure the audience on Saturday and Sunday would be very privileged to be able to see what you guys have to offer. How was it in terms of getting these guys on board initially? I know you said there was an audition process. Was it difficult initially finding characters finding persons to play these characters for this play? Was it difficult? And secondly, how was it in terms of getting everyone on board and seeing the visions that you three would have had initially regarding how you wanted it to be done? And I'm sure you guys are perfectionists, so how was it in that process?
Perfectionist comment is very on brand for us. It was not a difficult process. Actually, we put out a flyer on Facebook and stuff asking for people who wanted to just be involved in a production. We didn't really give much background in the production, just said, hey, if you're into acting, come audition, and we held auditions. Our auditions were honestly really great. I think because the characters had only existed on paper up until that point, we hadn't gotten the full feel of them as people. And certain people just read their lines as their character, and we were immediately like, hey, this clicks. Like our character, our actor Otley, who plays Adam, he had originally come to audition for George because we were kind of casting for specific characters. And he did his George audition, and he came honestly like over prepared for this audition. He came with props, he came with makeup, he did a whole spiel for us, and we weren't expecting it, seeing as the lack of theater in the BVI, we kind of were just expecting people to just come, show up and read some lines, and like, you know, we would have to coach them into it. So having somebody who was that enthusiastic about theater and, you know, had experience in the field and stuff was really great. But he came in, he read for George, and we were kind of just like, this was a great audition. Don't think this is the character for you. And Adam initially didn't even have that big of a role. Like, he didn't have lines and stuff. He was just a character that existed in the specific role that he did. We're not going to say what, because that's giving away the plot. But basically, Charis kind of wrote in this character to fit Otley and to give him more space in the play because of what a powerhouse he is and the space that we wanted to create for him to be able to, you know, give us his art and give everybody, you know, what he can do. And that happened, I think, for like a lot of our characters. Like, we saw Tashima audition. It was just like, oh, you work really well for this character. And then, you know, we did chemistry tests between our characters. We had chemistry tests between our two kind of main characters, George and Resilience. And immediately, like, you know, in that room, we had our audition and they read their lines together. It was a click and it was like, hey, this feels so right. So yeah, even Hashim for his character.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a running joke where we like just refer to Hashim as the name of his character because it feels like this is you. If obviously, you know, some things had gone differently in your life, but like this is who you would be if you were placed in this time. This
would be who you are.
Yeah. So that's why I made the comment about Charis finding herself in the character, because a lot of our actors, I feel like, you know, were cast in roles that fit kind of scarily perfect to who they are, and makes directing them as a director a lot easier because I'm not asking them, I don't have to ask them to step too far out of bounds of the people that they are in order to, you know, become these characters on stage.
Great. And what message would you like to leave in the minds and the thoughts of those persons that will be able to view the production this weekend?
I think for the sense of what is happening on the production scale, it would be that there is a space for theater in the BVI. Theater is something that it's vibrant and there's so much more to it. I think everyone enjoys looking at, you know, plays and film and TV, but we still look at it as an outside world thing. We completely erase or eliminate the BVI from the conversation without even like knowing what's available. So I think it will be first to establish that, you know what, theater is alive, it's a real thing, and it's something that is profitable just like emotionally, maybe even financially potentially. And from the narrative point of view, in terms of the story that the play creates, it's about looking at our heritage and looking at our ancestors and where we come from and realizing that it's not a they problem. It's a thing of making our ancestors feel human. I feel a lot of stories that talk about the period of enslavement, they just look at this dichotomy of black versus white, work and just on the plantation. But this story, we look at the interpersonal ramifications of what slavery really did mentally, physically, emotionally to these people. And it's about really looking at where we are now and remembering that where we came from is so deep and has so many emotional scars or tidbits that we need to not forget.
Great. And obviously, for those persons that are interested in finding out where they can purchase tickets, the price of tickets, etc., just give them some of those details as well.
So our tickets are located at JNC Trading in Road Town, E&B Convenience Store in Seacoast Bay, and Beans Coffee Shop on the Pier. We will also have some tickets being sold at the CCT store in town. Our tickets cost $25 for general admission. We have limited amounts of preferred seating tickets that are $50. You get preferred seating, obviously, which is the best seats in the house for viewing theater, because you never really want to be either too far to the right, too far to the left, or too far to the back of a stage. You want middle perfect seats that give you the entire scope of what is going on in stage at all times. So those are preferred seating seats. We will have complimentary cocktails or mocktails signature to Resilience in the hour before seating, which is why we have that whole, like, you know, doors open and seating times that people get a chance to mix and mingle and, you know, feel the vibe that we're creating in the theater during that time. You can also purchase tickets from any of the cast members. If you know any of them, Tashima, Shamar, Otley, Rikia, myself, Charis, Hashim, Nikoi. Yeah. You can purchase from any of us as well.
Okay, great. And any last words for the potential audience that will be anticipating this this show, this play this weekend?
Come out and support young people, but I would also say don't come with preconceived notions in your mind of what to expect. Though other productions have existed before this, people have done skits. We are trying to reinvent something here. It's not just about a ha 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 laugh. It's about telling a story that's connecting. So come with an open heart and mind and be prepared to just be enveloped by a different environment. I want you guys to like walk in and just be like, okay, the atmosphere has shifted, something good is about to happen, and just allow yourself to come into that space and be ready to have a good time.
Also, please come on time. So doors open at 6:21. Have it in your mind that I need to be at this place for 6:21.
Yeah, at 6:21 normal time and
PM.
not BVA time.
PM.
And not BVA time. Let us stress that.
Doors open 6:21. The show starts at 7:21.
Okay. Well, great. I want to thank you, Miss Marie and Miss Donovan-Hodge, firstly for taking time out to bless the audience, bless our viewers with background information of the play. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for obviously blessing our viewers with such.
Okay. Thank you for having us.
Well, viewers, to ensure you get access to this play, which is scheduled for this Saturday and Sunday from 6:21 p.m., you can contact both Miss Marie and Miss Donovan-Hodge, either directly or, as they said, their cast members as well. Or you can reach out to JNC Trading, Beans Coffee Shop, E&B Convenience Store, where those tickets are $25 for regular seats and $50 for preferred seating. Well, until next time, I'm Kamal Haynes of Twit4 Media. Bye-bye.